I'm standing in the middle of one of the saltiest lakes in the entire world. Almost nobody comes out on this lake in motorboats, but we did because we have a special mission that we got to get done today. We got a sailboat stuck in the middle of the lake, 2,000 feet away from the closest point where a boat can reach. We're going to do a recovery, a local recovery here on one of my favorite places in the world, the Great Salt Lake. This will be the first of this kind of recovery we've ever done. We got a sailboat stuck in the mud out in the middle of the Great Salt Lake. You may not know this, but the Great Salt Lake is a very popular sailing location. There used to be like 400 sailboats on the lake, but then the water started going down, so there's not very many out there, but there's still a few. And one of the very few that's out there got caught in windstorm, broke the rudder off, and it got washed into a really shallow part of the lake, and nobody can get them out. Water's too shallow. Well, lucky for them, we've got some shallow water boats, which including one of my new favorite boats, the Mark II Navy jet boat. It's a bridge building boat. That thing's sick. It's got tons of power, performs well, doesn't require much water at all. And then we got a couple of jet skis that we just use as kind of beater runaround vehicles. And then we got the mini jet boat, which is also a lot of fun. 350 horsepower in a tiny little boat like this that weighs maybe 1,000 pounds, if that. It's a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to Elko, then we'll get another. Right, he's getting in the truck. Oh no, bro. Guys, I have a very sincere question for you. And I mean this. How are you? How do you feel? How is your health? How are your energy levels? The reality is, if your answer to any of these questions is not 10 out of 10, then we need to figure out what's going on. We need to get to the root of the problem, which is why the sponsor of today's video is really important. My personal experience with AG1 is I just feel better all around when I drink it. I will say that the different vitamins and minerals, nutrients, superfoods, probiotics, prebiotics, they've jammed it in here into one super easy, super convenient drink that actually tastes pretty delicious. So guys, hear me out. Do a little test. Try it out. Click the link in my description below. Go to drinkag1.com/HeavyDSparks, and you can get started with AG1 for less than $3 a day when you subscribe. Plus, those of you watching and listening right now, if you actually follow through and click, you're gonna get 10 free travel packs. That's 10 free scoops just with your first order that they're just gonna throw in there. Guys, it's a big deal. It makes a big difference, and like I said, my personal experience with it has been insane. And that's why I take AG1 with me literally everywhere I go. I got it in my helicopter, I got it in my trucks, I got it in my backpack, I got it in my office, I got it in my home. It's everywhere, and I think you'll agree. You got nothing to lose. Click the link, try it out, and you can thank me later when you feel better.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking this, dude. Ever since the Arizona wake surf video, a lot of people blowing me up about my looks, calling me fat, out of shape, white like a snowflake. So I changed my ways. And this is me now.
You're eating a pickle on cheese.
Healthy. This is great.
He says it's in a pretty difficult place.
Who does?
The maintenance guy here. The big chief. But they also have their boat too that has 800 horsepower of thrust.
I don't think it's thrust that's the issue. I think it's traction.
Well,
Yeah.
it's got one of the things like on the bottom of the boat like that goes down and
Sphincters,
out like
what they're called.
Sphincters? Look like giant anchor to me.
We're here at the Great Salt Lake. All right, we're here at the Great Salt Lake Marina getting ready to do our first sailboat recovery ever. Believe it or not, we've never done one, which is surprising because there's actually a lot of sailboats here on the Great Salt Lake. I want to show you real quick on one of the sailboats that's out of the water, which is basically all of them. They're all out of the water because it's been so low for the last 10 years. So this is what we're working against. Sailboat, not a very big boat, maybe weighs 2,500, 3,000 pounds, but each boat has what's called a keel. This keel is basically a giant fin that goes in the water, and it's what keeps the sailboat from tipping over when the wind is blowing on the sails. This right here is buried in the mud, probably at least halfway. It's about a 2.5 foot keel. I think the one we're dealing with is a little bit shorter. It's called a wing keel. So it has like a wing on the bottom of it. So that is jammed up in the mud, which means it's gonna be not only difficult to access this boat, but difficult to pull it out because we're gonna be literally plowing the bottom of the sandbar with the keel. So we have to get underneath the boat and wrap around the keel to be able to pull from it, because that's gonna lift the boat up as we pull, because anything else we try to pull from is just gonna rip the boat right apart. Pulling cleats out of fiberglass, not a chance. So unfortunately, one of us is gonna have to get, I think the water level's like right here. So someone's gonna have to go all the way under. And when I say someone, I mean probably Alan. But anyways, that's what we're up against. I've not had either of these boats in the Great Salt Lake yet. The Great Salt Lake destroys motors. It's just nasty, nasty, nasty water. Salty, nasty water is really hard on equipment. So as soon as we get this recovery done, we got to get those boats back over to the shop and do a full rinse out on them. Run the motors with fresh water and get them cleaned up. I'm excited. We're gonna get this done. I love this lake. I respect this lake. And this lake really is kind of like the heart and soul of Utah. It's a big industry, the brine shrimping and all the minerals that come out of it, but it's also just an iconic, like beautiful piece of nature that needs to be protected, needs to be preserved, and we need more water. There's a lot of different organizations and groups that are advocates for the Great Salt Lake and saving the Great Salt Lake, and I'm definitely one of them. This place is my literally front yard. I grew up here and it's got a special place in my heart. So any chance we get to come out here and do some good, whether it's cleaning up or helping somebody who's stuck or just contributing to making it a better, safer, cleaner, nicer environment, that's what we're here for. So hopefully we can accomplish that task today and leave the lake better than we found it. The way this boat drifted, it got blown close to the shore, but not close enough to be able to recover from the shore, but also on the other side of a reef where the park ranger boat and any other boat out here can't reach it. It's about 2,000 feet away from the closest point where a boat can reach, which means they would need to round up about 2,000 feet of rope or tow line to be able to get it pulled out. First, they reached out to us to see if we could lift it with the Blackhawk. And while the Blackhawk certainly could lift a 3,000 pound sailboat, we don't have kind of like the permission from the FAA necessary to be able to do that kind of recovery. So instead, we're taking the next best thing, which is our new Mark II Army bridge erection boat, which just proved itself big time down in Lake Powell. I fell in love with this thing. It's got a lot of towing power. It's very robust, but also very simple, very reliable. We've got our 4-seater Jetstream jet boat that has about a 350 horsepower Sea-Doo engine in it. That thing absolutely rips, and most people use those for like going up rivers and going on trips. We use it for work and for recoveries. So between these two jet boats, we're hoping to be able to get up, go around the area where this boat, the sailboat, is stuck, hook onto it with the bridge boat, tug it out, and bring her home to safety. The gal who owns the boat was out here just having a great time over the weekend. The wind picked up and they were under full sail when they basically accidentally hit a reef and it broke their rudder off, which made them lose full control. So, it's basically either us or a helicopter, and we're gonna give it a try first because I think we can do it with our equipment. So we made our way out to kind of as far offshore as we feel comfortable to not get stuck. We're checking the depth right now. Unfortunately, our Army boat does not have a depth finder, so Alan's making a depth finder with a rope and a weight. Ryan's gonna come over here. I'm gonna jump on the mini jet boat, and we're gonna go do some recon in that boat because it has such a shallow draft. We can go in like 6 inches of water, whereas this boat we need at least at 12 or 14 at the very, very minimum. So you can see maybe the boat is right directly there. See it? So that's where we're trying to get to. And we got to go kind of up and around the north side and loop around because right in this area there's a reef like a big rock structure throughout there. So jumping in the mini jet boat and we're gonna head over there. We are in 3 inches of water. Is that pump still on? I don't see it cranking out the side. Open that up.
Hands.
Top dollars, huh?
Beached.
Oh.
I was gonna tell Ryan not to go with them for the lightweight, but then I thought Dave is gonna have to help Ryan, and Ryan's gonna have to help Dave pull that thing off the beach. I couldn't help but notice they're walking now.
Yeah, they're walking. I think they're walking to the boat.
Are we sure it's like a 2-foot keel, or is it more like those ones that are in the 4-footers that are in the, they said it's like a... Depending on how much rope we have, we may just want to do like what they were saying, and just head out as deep as possible. Here's our anchor. We'll get the jet boat off, cruise through here, and draw a line straight from the boat to here, and see at what point it gets deep enough for us to be able to get that boat close enough. My friends, I'm standing in the... Hey.
Okay.
That's a sailboat. It's stuck. I'm in about 6 inches of water, and the bottom of that sailboat sticks in the ground about 2.5 feet. That sailboat is very, very stuck. They were out here cruising along, sailing, having a great time. They ran aground on some shallow rocks because this lake is notoriously very, very shallow. Broke their rudder off, which meant they lost control. Ultimately, the wind pushed them up over a reef, over a sandbar, and into a little shallow bay, which is unfortunately too far away from where we can access with our big boat that, you know, we're gonna pull it out with. So right now we have 2 tasks. Task number 1, get our mini jet boat off the sandbar that I just launched it onto. And then from there, head over to the jet boat or to the army boat and start laying out rigging, because we're gonna have to use probably a couple thousand feet worth of rope to be able to tow that thing back out to open water. So buckle up, because while this lake is not necessarily the most beautiful to play in, it is hands down one of the most beautiful places in the world to look at.
Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle.
Oh, what a salty, beautiful mess.
Here's some fun facts about the Great Salt Lake.
Fun fact about the Great Salt Lake: the Great Salt Lake is not very deep anywhere. There's very few places where you can jump in and you can't touch. And because it's so salty, it's super hard for you or anything else to sink. It's nasty, it's dirty. They collect brine shrimp out of it, which I don't know what you do with brine shrimp. All things of the Great Salt Lake.
Looks like you've had an exhilarating time thus far.
Great time. We looked down to see, because it looked like we were taking on water, because it was leaking a little bit. So we stopped, and we're in like 3 inches of water where we stopped. We got stuck. It sucked. This lake is just super shallow. That thing is in much less water than I even realized. It is like, it's maybe in 10 inches of water. It's gonna be a real bear to pull out, and I don't know how we're gonna get to the far side of it. We don't have depth finder on this, which is dumb, I know, but this is not our boat that we use for this kind of stuff. We use our other big Navy boat, so we haven't had time to set this up because we just barely got it, but I could definitely use a depth gauge right now. We're just gonna have to make do with basically dropping things in the water. We're within 400 or 500 yards of the sailboat now, and we're still in 6.5 feet of water. So we found a perfect little channel right here, which is exactly what we needed. It's like reef on both sides of us, which is crazy. I didn't know there was reef in the Great Salt Lake, but it's just these big rock structures. Basically, as long as we can continue to follow this channel, the jet boat's going ahead of us to kind of mark out anything. So far, we've ran in about 2.5 feet of water, and this boat's still not touching the ground, which is great. If we have 4 feet of water to tow in, we will be dialed. We're super close now. We got enough rope to be able to get to that thing. So even if we have to stop right here, we'll be able to hook on. And I want to be at a bit of an angle so I can twist it out, because it's going to need to be twisted because it is buried. But this is looking really good. Well, we got off to a bit of a rough start. Getting the jet boat stuck, but Now we're doing well. We got the Army boat much closer than I had thought we could, which is nice. Hands!
Hands! Hands! Hands! Keep checking the depth right there. You're drifting. Don't let yourself drift too far.
Okay.
Then he waddled away.
This thing has about a 2.5 foot keel on it that is stuck in the sand. The keel is the strongest point of the boat. However, we can't get to it because of how stuck it is. So what we're going to do is we hooked to the opposite side. We're going to try to turn this thing parallel to the big jet boat, the military boat. We're going to try to roll it over and pull the keel out of the water. Once it's on its side, the port side, and the keel's out of the water, we'll try to re-rig it to the keel, that strongest point, as well as the side, and we're just gonna drag it along this edge. This is pretty soft material underneath, so it shouldn't do too much damage. Really, that's the only way we're getting it out.
Ryan, you're good. Just stand there.
Forward.
Okay, I'm gonna put some tension on it.
Spun around really nice. Nothing creaked or cracked. It looked like it took minimal effort, which is good. She's tight. All right, give her a little bit.
If it doesn't want to spin, we might need to.
Yep, there she goes. All right, she's wide up. Perfect. And she's tipping. Keep going.
There we go. She's coming. We want it to spin and lay down on the starboard side. There she goes. That's what we want.
All right, that's great right there. And she's pulling.
My friends, we are in business. This bad girl is dragging like a dream. As you can see on this drone shot, right there, she is literally just pulling exactly the way we want her to. We got RPMs. There's a shallow spot. All right, we're gonna have to figure this out, so I'll be back.
The reef is right here. There's an open spot right there. Either we go over here and over, or we go back this way.
I'm gonna stay in this shallow over here. I'm turning away from the reef now.
It's all right here.
So just keep me to the left side of that reef.
Okay, we're all the way to the left of the reef, right?
Right up to there now.
So keep You're gonna have to cut to the left more. We have reef straight in front of us. This spot here. We're gonna go into it right there, Dave. Hard right now. You're good. Yep, straight. Perfect.
We are hooked up and on our way back to the marina. That was awesome. It couldn't have gone literally any better. And Ryan looks like he's gonna be in a fruity music video. Euro boy band.
What happened is I got involved. I get involved and the boat's out of the water. The boat's still in the water.
We're hooked up out of the reef. We're gonna get the drone up again just to make sure that we're clear. And until we're back to the marina, but I think we are in the clear here as long as we take it nice and easy out of here. Well guys, I'll tell you what, I'm damn impressed with that Army bridge boat. That's the second recovery we've done with it, and it's just flawless. It's simple, it's robust, it's durable, and it is powerful. Like, I was barely using any throttle to drag that sailboat sideways with its keel dragging on the reef, like no big deal. We got the sailboat back in excellent condition, no damage at all. In fact, once we got it back to the marina here, they were able to drive it back to its slip, which is awesome. This is a really expensive recovery if anybody else is gonna do it. They were looking at 10, 15 grand to have helicopters come do it, to have airboats, all sorts of stuff. And ultimately, the old jet boat came through and did its job perfectly. Also, huge shout out to Jetstream boats for the little mini jet boat that we have. That thing's awesome. It's so fun because you can use it for fun, you can use it for exploring, you can use it for recoveries, just use it for all kinds of stuff. It's easy to throw around. And as you saw, if you get stuck in the sand, you can at least kind of maneuver it off and not be beached forever. So good day, successful recovery, got it done before the sun went down. Now I'm gonna go rinse this salt off of me and my equipment because this stuff sucks.